This is a video of the Heed, oh, it's over here. The Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports with the dual clutch transmission. These are the Heed crash bars. They are made in Poland. I bought them on eBay at a very reasonable price. They arrived here in about 10 days. Fast shipping. They're well packed, come in a big box. Huge amount of packing around all the tubes of the crash bars. The real issue with these is the directions. They're probably translated from Polish, and there's really a lot lacking. It really don't make too much sense at all. So I'm just going to go over the highlights of how to mount these things. It did take me quite a while to do it. Anyway, just trying to figure it out. So first part is they're bolted right here, 2 bolts here. You remove the stock bolts and then you put those in. Down below there's another bracket right here, and this is held on with a bolt and a nut. And this bracket attaches down below on the right side with those 2 bolts there. Right there. 1 and 2. Very simple. That's easy. The front comes together, is held together with a bolt and a nut. Underneath, you have to remove the stock bracket for the original crash bar, which really wasn't a crash bar. It's more like a kind of auxiliary light holders. They were very flimsy. Anyway, underneath here, there's 2 bolts that this bracket bolts to. One is this is an acorn appearing nut, but really it's not. It's welded on there, so that doesn't come off. You have to remove it from the other side. There's another nut, a bolt up top that this all bolts to, and it bolts onto the left side. Left side. Remember that. Goes on the left side of that original bracket. Come around to the other side. This bar here goes back in here and it bolts in. There's a little nut on the back side of that and holds that in place. Down below, there's 2 stock nuts or bolts that you remove, and you mount it there. Now the fun part. Very long and tedious to get this on. So anyway, up front on the left side of the bike, there are 2 shims. One right there, the top, and it bolts directly to the engine between the factory engine, the spacer, the factory motor mount bolt bracket, and then the crash bar bracket. Down below, there's another thick spacer. So the 2 thick ones go on the left side of the bike. One has a bigger diameter because this bolt that runs through here, the lower one is skinnier, the one in the back is thicker. Then we go over to the right side of the motor, and there's another shim, as you can see right down there. Now it's at the top in the back, so it goes directly against the motor. So you got the motor, you got there's this thin shim or thin spacer, then the motor mount bracket, then the crash bar itself bracket right there. So these are real fun to put in. That spacer keeps dropping down, etc., etc. There is this extra bracket that holds something when it was stock. That's no longer used. I removed the one on the right, but the one on the left, you can't remove it because the exhaust is in the way. But once I tighten it up, I'll probably just mount it right about there. Doesn't do anything. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. Quality is very nice. Be careful when you're removing it. Probably using a razor blade knife to cut all that. You don't cut or scratch the frame removing it. Yeah, very nice, very sturdy, and but a nightmare, pain in the ass to put on.